Earlier, we streamed the 5 gun cases that are happening in New York, and we also talked about the Polymer80 preliminary injunction and temporary restraining order. So, why am I back? Let's talk about it. How's it going, Wolverines? Welcome back to John Crump News, where we talk about everything 2A related. I'm your host, John Crump. I'm an investigative journalist that keeps an eye on the 2A space. Today, we are brought to you by Bearco Training.
The gun out, but the gun's not coming down. And this sets it up in a way that won't be higher than it's also consistent for the whole.
When Bearco approached me about a sponsorship, I wanted to make sure that it was the right fit because I don't sponsor anything I wouldn't use. So I checked out their training classes and I really liked them. From the new shooter to people that just want to brush up a little bit, Bearco is great, and you can get a 10% discount by using code CRUMP10. The link is down below in the description. All right, guys, with that out of the way, let's talk about my favorite poet of all time, LL Cool J. Now, Mr. Cool J, or maybe it's just Mr. J, said a lot of prolific things in his time. And a couple of the things that he said was, "Mama said knock you out," and "don't call it a comeback." And Polymer80 is proving both of those things correct. Mama said knock you out. Let's talk about that first. Over the weekend, Judge Reed O'Connor in the Northern District of Texas released a preliminary injunction against the ATF and the Polymer80 case, meaning that Polymer80 can go back to selling their stuff because they said the ATF does not have the authority to change the definition of a firearm to include parts. In fact, the judge said Congress made the conscious effort not to regulate firearms parts. You cannot change the definition of a firearm, and this is exactly what Judge O'Connor is saying. If you haven't read anything about Judge O'Connor, let me just say he is extremely based. I've read a lot of his decisions, and they are miraculous. He's one of the judges that knocked down Obamacare before the whole Supreme Court debacle thing. But hey, you win some, you lose some. So, what is Polymer80 going to do? Well, I will tell you what they're going to do because they just did it. They are back to selling kits. So you can buy a blank, not the bridge frame, but their original blanks with a jig, drill bits, and all that good stuff. They are taking pre-orders on their site right now, and it is miraculous. I would say their site, but hey, YouTube gigged me because they saw a URL when I was doing a stream about another site, so I'm not going to say their site name because I don't want to get another strike. But if you go to the Polymer80 site, you can go ahead and pre-order a kit, which is miraculous. I am going to do that myself tonight when I get some time because I want to build another firearm. Now, if you have one of the bridge frames, I would hold on to that because that might become a collector's item. Just saying. All right, so I talked to Lauren over at Polymer80. If you don't know Lauren, he is the owner of Polymer80. He was extremely happy with the case. He actually told me that he thanks all the customers out there and his employees, which was a great thing to do. He said the battle is not done, or this is just one battle. The war is not done, and they will continue fighting to the end, and I have no doubt that they will. The Biden administration, what they try to do is put Polymer80 out of business. But guess what? Polymer80 fought back and prevented that, and Judge O'Connor upheld that. Polymer80 is just one in a long line of manufacturers and other shops to get a preliminary injunction. Defense Distributed has a preliminary injunction. 80% Arms have a preliminary injunction. But this is the game changer because all those sites together don't have the market share that Polymer80 does. And now that Polymer80 can sell to the general public, I'm sure that they will sell out very fast and frames will be everywhere. Thank you, Biden, for going ahead and telling the ATF to pass this dumbass law, and I do call it a law because it's a de facto law, to try to ban pistol frames without going through Congress. Also, the letter, let me talk about the letter. This is going to really piss me off. But the letter that they sent on December 27th, 2 days after Christmas, was to close the ghost gun loophole. That might have been a violation of the APA, the Administrative Procedures Act, which says you have to go through a comment period. What they do instead of making a new rule is they reinterpret the rule that they already have. And that cannot be allowed. So what is the government's choice? They can go ahead and appeal to the circuit court, but the Fifth Circuit Court is pretty damn good. If you don't know, they are the court that ruled on Cargill. Cargill is the bump stock case where they rolled 13-3, so it wasn't even a close ruling, to ask the district judge or demand the district judge to issue a ruling in favor of Cargill and issue the appropriate relief. Now the district judge kind of sidestepped that by not issuing any relief, but that will be rectified and the judge will probably get his pee-pee smacked because he wasn't supposed to do that. The court ordered him to go ahead and issue appropriate relief, and he didn't do that. So we'll see what happens to that guy. He's probably not too happy, and you can tell when you read his ruling that he wasn't too happy with the Fifth Circuit. So the government can appeal to the Fifth Circuit, which they will probably lose in the Fifth Circuit, which is good because the Fifth Circuit values stuff like the rule of litany and stuff like that. And then they can go to the Supreme Court, which will probably rule against them too. So I think this rule is probably going to die a slow death. All we need is Judge OConnor or the Fifth Circuit or someone to issue a nationwide injunction on all frames and receivers to remove the rule from everyone instead of companies having to sue down in Texas. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thank you to Bearco Arms. If you like what I do here, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. I got a video coming out in a couple weeks that I am working on right now, and it's going to be amazing, and I think you all will like it. I know I usually do daily videos, but this one I've put a lot of work in. And once again, thank you so much for all the support while I had COVID. And I still do have COVID, but I'm getting better. And if you are in South Carolina, I will see you at the gallery. With that, we are out of here. Stay ever vigilant, stay ever free. Keep in the fight. I'm gone. Wolverines, motherfucker.